Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Watt deck. So this is my first attempt at a Watt deck, so hope you guys will be nice to me. There are a few different ways to build a Watt deck. You can go for just straight direct damage, you can go for more of a lockdown base, you can go for more general Watts and use a bunch of their different effects and use more Thunder support. There's a lot of different options for this deck. So mine just uses a few Watt monsters that focus on direct damage and does some other stuff to protect your cards. So first off, we have Wattcobra. So an easy 1000 damage you'll be doing and allowing you to search out Watt monsters. So very nice. Wattgiraffe, an easy 1200 damage and kind of locks down your opponent until the end of that turn, which is really nice. And then Wattdragonfly, really nice card, allowing you to special summon a Watt monster when it gets destroyed. So very useful, allowing you to kind of stall, but also bring out your direct damage attackers. Also nice that he can, summon himself, so you can keep it going if you're dealing with more monsters. And then we have Thunder Seahorse. So Thunder Seahorse can be an interesting card to use. You can discard it in order to get some of the Watt monsters that you need. Later on in the duel, it can be a bit of a dead draw. That's why I'm running 2 of it. It can still be very useful for this deck because you need to get those direct attackers very quickly. Lava Golem, really nice card for this deck, allowing you to get rid of the opponent's monsters that are kind of messing with you. And also kind of fits in well with the deck. What's nice is that you can use Dragonfly to summon on your opponent's turn and then use Lava Golem, so you'll be able to set up things really well. And then Effect Veiler, obviously, to get rid of the effects that might mess with your deck. Thunder King Rai-Oh, just a perfect card in this kind of deck, fits in with the Thunder Archetype, helping you lock down a little bit more and negating those special summons that you need. Honest, obviously, in a light-based deck, a really good idea. Always just great support, especially with these monsters that have such a low attack. Tragoedia, there's a good chance you'll be taking a lot of battle damage, so very good card to have, in case your monsters are getting destroyed and you're taking some damage. And now for the spell cards, obviously MST to get rid of things that you need to. Messenger of Peace, very good card helping you kind of lock down your opponent while you're being able to direct attack, so very good card for this deck. You can run 3 if you want. I think 2 is plenty, but it's up to you. Pot of Duality, obviously searching out what you need. Forbidden Lance, obviously a really good card to protect your Watt monsters from those spells and traps. Dark Hole, obviously great to get rid of your opponent's field, obviously a staple. And Recycling Batteries, giving you access to your Watt monsters from the graveyard once you lose them, which can be very important. For the traps, we have Magic Cylinder. Because you're doing so much direct damage on top of Magic Cylinder, it can be very useful to wipe your opponent out, and really great against Lava Golem. Threatening Roar, really good for protecting your monsters. There's some other alternatives, but I think Threatening Roar works really well. So that's currently what I'm using. And then mostly stable traps. Again, you're running a lot of traps. You want to protect your monsters. You want to stall your opponent for a bit so you can direct attack for a lot of damage. So now for the extra deck. Extra deck is not really important in my deck personally. If you're running more of a synchro-based Watt deck, then it could be very important, but personally not for me. Because I'm running Effect Veiler, you have a 3-star Mistbird, 5-star Catastor, and Armades. And then because you have 4-star and 2-star and a 1-star tuner, you can get out Black Rose very occasionally, but can be useful. For the XYZ, Gachi Gachi, because you have some 2-stars and a bunch of different 4-stars. Mostly staples. You want ones that can kind of help lock down, help you stall. Paladynamo, because you have light monsters. And I have 2 Gagaga Cowboys. Very good in this deck, obviously, because you're doing a bunch of damage. So for the side deck, again, side decks in my decks are just recommended cards that can work with other builds, or if you want to mess with this deck a little bit more, you can add these guys in. A lot of the cards that I put in the side deck are for kind of the other different types of Watt decks, so you can see what you want to do. A lot of decks use Watthopper, and they force a lockdown, which is very annoying for your opponent. So there's a lot of ways you can kind of use this, and can be really annoying for your opponent. Also, Apocatequil, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but very useful for bringing out the 7-star Synchro, and obviously Thunder, so fits in well with the archetype. Rai-Oh, great card for getting some of the monsters you need. Wattcine can be kind of helpful if you are worried about your life points. Currently not what I'm focusing on, but can be helpful. The Watt Synchros are really nice, Wattchimera and Watthydra. My deck doesn't support them, but If you're, again, focusing on a more synchro-based deck with Watts, they're very powerful and can help you a lot. And then we have Wattcastle. Messing with attack isn't personally my style in this deck. That's why I'm running Messenger of Peace. But that if you are focusing on kind of lowering your opponent's attack and stuff like that, and you don't mind running a field card, that can be pretty interesting. 1-for-1 is really good if you're doing the Watthopper lockdown. Burden of the Mighty, again, I'm not focusing on changing attacks, but can be very useful. Photon Lead can be also really good for this deck, allowing you to special summon a light monster, again helping with the Watthopper lock and just getting monsters out that you need. Solidarity works great in these kind of decks because you're running a lot of Thunder type monsters, and there's a lot of Thunder support you can add in. Again, not my focus, and I'm running cards like Lava Golem, so won't work out pretty well. For the traps, Wattcancel can be really interesting, kind of negating summons. I'm not running that many Watt monsters. If you're running more, you might want to run this card. Wabalku is an alternative to Threatening Roar. Fiendish Chain, an alternative to Effect Veiler. And finally, Beckoning Light is an interesting card to kind of recycle. Can be really interesting. But overall, that's my Watt deck. Very simple. Just focus on getting that damage out really early, and can work pretty well against some of the meta. It can be very tough, but can be really fun to play. But if you guys have your own Watt decks, you could post below. Let me know what you do. I'd definitely like just to see some of the lockdown decks that people have. Again, not what I was focusing on, but I might make another Watt deck in the future that focuses more on lockdown. But if you like this video, you can subscribe or hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. You can check the playlist in the description. It'll have a list of all the decks I've made so far if you want to see those. You can follow me on Twitter. You can see my Skype, my Dueling Network profile, all that stuff. If you want to talk to me, you can see that in the description. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.